What is up? It's your boy Hunter Henry and my co-host Sean Culkin, and this is the Flow Bros podcast. We are pumped to be back. I know it's been a brief hiatus, a little 2-week hiatus. Had a little life update, a little life change. Obviously, probably a lot of people know I have signed with the New England Patriots, and that it's been a busy couple weeks trying to figure everything out. I'm pumped. I'm excited. Me and my boy are both going to two different spots, two new spots for us. It's exciting, and I'm excited to be a Patriot and excited to be back on this podcast, get to hang out, our first live show, and we're excited. We got a really, really cool guest, a really cool show today. We're going to open it up at the end of the show to fan questions. So get your fan questions, like the stream, like the podcast, go subscribe to us. We're excited to do this pod again and have our first live show with one of our good friends. So without further ado, I got to give a great big time introduction to our boy, one of our great friends, man, an all-time teammate. His name is Austin Ekeler, hailing from the great Eaton, Colorado. He went to Western Colorado State, beat all the odds. My man went to D2 and absolutely crushed it. 2013 to 2016, my man put up 1,000 yards every season. His biggest year I'm looking at was his sophomore year, 1,600 yards, 2,000 all-purpose yards, just continuing to crush it. His senior year put up 1,500 yards with 15 tugs. Then transitions, goes undrafted, gets picked up by the Chargers, and that's where the story will get going on this. But my man, pound for pound, strongest dude I've ever been around, and a great friend, and a great teammate, and a stud, Austin Ekeler. Hey, dude, we're excited to have you on here, bro.
Hey, I appreciate the intro, man. Coming in with all the stats, coming in with all the love from the back in the day. I appreciate you, man.
Hey, we went all the way back.
Hey, that was a big intro.
Hey, that was a big intro.
Love that.
I like it.
There's a lot to talk about, man. Obviously, man, we're so excited that you're here joining us now. Man, just to begin, we want to hear your story from your lens. And just take us back, bro. Take us back to the days, man. Western State, Colorado. I mean, I was your roommate for a couple of years. We've grown pretty close. And I remember you saying how you used to even like go on the rodeos. Like, you have a story, man. Like, you have something to share, and we want to hear it right now. So tell the world, baby.
I mean, I don't want to go into super detail, so we'll skim through just the good stuff. What I feel is the most important. But yeah, as you guys mentioned, came from Eaton, Colorado, a small town, one stoplight town off of a bigger highway. Played all the sports growing up there. Grew up with a pretty good supportive community. It was a little farm town. Like, there's cornfields all around my town. And then we were just playing sports, not really knowing what the heck I was going to do as far as going to college or anything like that. And, I thought I had a pretty good season my senior year of football. Football was my favorite sport. It was a sport that I was also best at. And, I didn't really get recruited. So kind of, it was kind of discouraging. Yep. And, it just came down to, teams wanted me to play different roles or come in as an athlete. And I didn't really like that. So I didn't really, talk to those guys anymore, to those teams. And those were all Division II teams that were talking to me. I didn't get talked to by any Division I teams.
Not one D1 team. Not
one D1, man. This is after my senior year. I had 2,300 rushing yards, and I had 43 touchdowns. I was averaging like 4 or 5 touchdowns a game, and I didn't have one D1. Not one.
And you knew too, like you said, like, you're playing running back. Like, you're not settling.
I'm betting on myself. I'm playing running back. I'm
no
not
doubt.
going to switch and try to, learn all your new concepts. I'm going to do what's worked for me up to this point.
Yeah.
And so ended up coming in contact with the Western State, Colorado University at the time. I know they changed their name. But they're like, hey, we just graduated running back. Why don't you come play running back? And I had some friends up there. So from my team that were older than me. And it kind of just sealed the deal. It's like, let's go. I'm a Mountaineer now. So
Mountaineer, baby.
Mountaineers, let's go.
And then you go there and crush it, though. And
so, yeah.
Talk through that a little bit. Like, I mean, obviously you had you were kind of underdog going in there a little bit probably too, right? You had a chip on your shoulder. You were like,
oh, for sure.
I didn't get recruited. I'm about to go freaking ball over here though in D2.
Well, even going back further than that, like just the way I grew up in a farm town. You know, my mom's husband at the time, he built fence, right? And that's what we do in the summers. I'd either be playing sports or building fence. And so just the way I got brought up was pretty intense as far as labor, and really it really showed me how to work hard and that I don't want to be doing labor my entire life. So
is that why you're so strong? Because P for P, pound for pound, for those like Hunter said earlier in the intro, this man is the strongest man on any team, pound for pound. Like, I mean, I've seen videos of him like your first 2 years in college, like from the floor, power cleaning like 365 for reps. And it's pretty incredible to watch. Do you think that kind of played a part in just like the labor that you kind of sustain on the farm, like in this overall grown man strength, if you will?
I wouldn't say as far as like the labor really grew into my strength. I think it was really the mindset and the mental toughness that I grew, like doing that stuff that transitioned into the weight room and things that I was passionate about. And so it allowed me to like really not care what my body's telling me, just keep pushing through, just go. It doesn't matter. There's no excuses. You have to get out of the situation, and this is how you're going to do it. And so lifting became basically therapeutic for me, and I would do it all the time. And it just became like a way for me to get away. It was either I was playing sports, video games, working out, or building fence. Like it was like, so I want to do all the other ones. I want to do all the other ones. I don't want to go back to building fence or taking care of, animals out in the ranch. Like I hated it. And so I think that just drove me just to really stay in the weight room and stay in a state of mind that it's like, I need to get out of this. And so I ended up doing that. The day I graduated, I had my car packed and actually left that day I graduated. I was like, see ya, I'm getting out of this situation. I'm getting out of here. I'm gonna go lift. I'm gonna go get with the team. I got a job all lined up and everything. I went up there and was a raft guide. I was a raft guide my first year.
Yes.
Dude, that is legendary.
Hey, you also, so you did rafting, but real quickly, just touch on, you told me before you even were part of a rodeo, like you rode a bull.
Oh, yeah.
Am I wrong here?
Yeah. So like I said, even going back to that life, my country life, I'm in this farm town, and my mom's husband at the time, he was into all of that too. And, so I was like, all right, let's check it out. Let's check out this cowboy life. So I used to ride horses, rode a few bulls in my day. We had like the barrel we do a bunch of practicing on, and I was terrible at bull riding. So like, this is not for me. And then I kind of moved on from that. But like the team roping, horses, we had goats, chickens. We had the ranch life down. That was what it was out in Briggsdale is where this town that I actually lived in, but just went to high school in Eaton. But it's just nothing but farmland and ranches.
That's dope. So, man, big shout out to Western State. We got to give a shout out. We're always about the shout outs on the show.
Big shout out guys over here.
Yeah, we're big shout out guys. Tell us about your experience at Western State. Obviously, you got this underdog mentality, but then you kind of ball obviously at Western State. Towards the end of your career, what were you starting to think maybe? I mean, you're in playing D2, but still like,
right.
I'm balling. I'm still balling at, killing these dudes.
Right. So something that I think is a really important message, and what I really was able to just master, just because that's the only thing I knew, was really I needed to take advantage of the opportunity that was presented in front of me at the time and not get too far ahead of myself. So even growing up, I didn't even watch the NFL. I didn't even watch professional sports. And so I wasn't even thinking about the NFL when I got to college, right? I'm thinking about, okay, I'm a freshman. I just left. I just graduated 2 days ago. I'm up here ready to lift with the college team. I'm getting up here. I'm already one of the strongest guys coming in. Like coming as a freshman, I think I benched like 330 and squatted 470. And like all the guys are like, dude, who is this kid? I'm like, for me, it's just normal. Like, this is what I've always done. So it wasn't really like a shock or anything for me. I didn't know what to expect. And so it's kind of like, okay, I'm trying to kind of see the ropes. I'm, comparing myself to other running backs, and end up starting. And then end up, starting the rest of the 4 years, breaking all the records and things like that. And it wasn't until like after my junior year where my coach came to me and he said, like, because Danny Woodhead was also Division II, played in the same conference as I, and he was the special teams coach for Danny when Danny was at Shadron. And he's like, man, you really remind me a lot of Danny. You know, he got his chance, and, you know, I think he might be able to get a chance too. And then after my senior year, or during my senior year, I had a bunch of college scouts up there, which was brand new because no one's getting scouted during my other years that I was there. And so now there's these scouts there. I'm like, oh, shoot, this is actually legit. And, you know, ended up just having another good season my senior year and finished it out, stayed healthy. And then, you know, the Chargers came knocking on the door come draft day.
Love that, man. I love that mentality too. Like you said, like where you weren't getting too far ahead of yourself. You had to just focus on the present and just build from there.
Right.
I'm curious. Oh, here we go.
Wow. Look at this, baby.
I didn't make this.
We got the good clips now.
We got this is what I really wanted to see.
Oh,
this is what I wanted to see.
Golly. Mountaineer Bowl. So it's the highest like stadium in the United States, like 7,800 feet.
Oh, that's right. Y'all are at the highest elevation. I remember you saying that because we used to
the highest elevation.
Yeah.
Wow, that hits you. Crazy. Like, would you get gassed? Like, I mean,
I lived up there year round, right? So I'm used to this. My red blood cell count is off the charts, you know, like everyone else out there.
Love that.
But,
wow, look at that! Look at that tank right there, dude.
Ooh, look at that!
Oh my gosh! Look at that absolute unit.
You got a visor on too? Do I see a visor there?
Oh yeah.
Hey, so how big is the school now? Like, and is football important to the university? And if so, did it? Because I went to a really small Christian school for high school, and like, is it comparable like to where you were almost like a big man on campus, like? Everyone obviously knew who Austin Ekeler was. Kind of like touch on that.
I mean, there's a lot of even just high schools that are bigger than, you know, our school was. It was like 2,500 students was the entire university, right? 2,500. Wow. So like I've been there for a few years. I don't see very many new people every day. Like I see like what's up, you know? I've seen you before for a couple of years. And even the town I think was like 4,000 or 5,000. So it was similar to my high school town, but it was nowhere near the support that my high school town got. It was a mountain town. So it was big outdoor rec as far as like skiing, hunting, fishing, that type of just mentality. And a lot of the people that are there are just there in the summer because it's like a summer home for people. And there's a lot of tourism there because there's, you know, big reservoirs there. So it's literally like you're up in the mountains just camping.
And right? rafting, whitewater rafting, right?
Whitewater rafting,
baby.
River.
That's dope, bro. That's dope. Well, so then obviously you ball. Like we said over and over again, we saw some awesome clips. But then our paths cross. This is where our paths cross with me and Sean and you. You get picked up by the Chargers, but it starts all over again, right? You had that undrafted, I'm a D2 guy, chip on my shoulder, underdogs. Chips were stacked against you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you had to come in and prove yourself all over again. I mean, that happens at every level, but you especially, and I know Sean knows this grind, and we've talked about it on this pod too, of just that undrafted grind. And we get into OTAs and all this stuff, and talk through kind of that process and how your outlook on all that.
Yeah. You know, I kind of took the leap of faith, just how I have kind of my whole year. Like I said, I see the opportunity in front of me and I do everything I can to make the best out of that opportunity. Because if you do that, then more opportunities will come, right? So I actually left school right after my senior year. So I didn't even finish my last year of college until after my first year of the NFL. But I left just to go train. I was like, you know what? This is an opportunity that I would never have again. I need to drop everything in my life, and this is really what I want. And I'm going to go all in on this, and this is the only thing that matters to me at this time. And it was just my highest priority, and I treated it like that. I treated my training so seriously, as far as pro day, as far as what I was eating, as far as just like my mental, as far as trying to make a team and get on the Chargers. You know, this is even before the Chargers. This is my mentality, and so ended up going through training camp OTAs, and then coming back, and it was the same mentality. Like nothing is more important than this right now in my life, and I was just so dedicated to it. And I think that's just, you know, more carryover from where I came from, and just the mental things that I learned, and the mental discipline and toughness that just was like, hey, if you want this, you got to go in. And I didn't want to have any regrets. And so that's why I dropped everything, and then ended up, you know, making some plays in OTAs and training camp, and then ended up finding my spot on the team, basically sneaking by. Because I came into camp and I was the 6th string running back. Like I was the only running back that they brought in. There was no other rookie. It was just me.
And you got the number 3, which that's
I'm rocking number 3
at the time. So that had to obviously kind of be something to overcome. Real quick, because there's a lot. You skipped a little bit on like OTAs and like preseason. I feel like there's so much there that like allowed and created like the Austin Ekeler that fans and the thousands know, right? Real quickly though, I want to go back when you said that you had to like drop everything, because that's one thing that we shared early on. We kind of talked about, because I did the same thing with finance, and I've shared this on the pod in previous episodes. But because you were really serious about school, right? Like you were studying oil. I remember you were saying you had like internships, like you had jobs lined up to be in the oil and gas industry. And you know, I would imagine going to a small D2 school and telling people, man, I'm going to go try to do the NFL, even though you have a secure, this seems like a very laid out path that is like, if within time will be successful, like it's going to be a good life. This is what you should do. I'm sure you maybe had some people encouraging to do that. When you said you dropped everything and just bet on yourself, was that scary? Like talk like through the emotions that you were feeling in that choice that you made.
Oh yeah, I mean, to make the choice was scary, but once I made the choice, you know, it was just me committing at that point. Yeah, it was definitely a lot to drop, because, you know, like you said, I did have this path kind of laid out for myself, and like it's great. Like I love the industry. I still love the industry right now, and like I have a lot of friends that are still in the industry. I actually went to one of my best friend's weddings, and he works for the company that I was going to go work for. Like I could have seen my life in that, you know, and it was just like, hey, I have an opportunity to do something different that I'm really passionate about. And so it was easy after I made the decision. I had to talk to my mom. I talked to my coach. I didn't even talk to my financial or my educational advisor, whatever they're called, because I was just like, obviously she's going to tell me don't leave.
Right.
Well, that's what I thought anyway. And, you know, I was like, to talk to my mom mainly, I was like, you know, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to drop out of school. I'm just going to go all in on this opportunity. And that's what I did. Yeah. And it ended up paying off.
That's so cool. Also, shout out, just like I said before with Hunter, both you guys left early, was the right choice, but you both went back and got your degree. Not many people do it. So big props to both of you. I know you wanted to kind of talk on like more so his OTA experience and like from how you saw it.
Yeah, you know, obviously we got different paths. You know, I got drafted in 2nd round. I was kind of expectations. I had this already status, and it was completely different, but it was cool. It's always cool to see the undrafted guys. I feel like I love watching that. And I always vividly remember you. Obviously we became friends and all that stuff. So that like that part came into play too. But like, me and Sean were laughing about it. We were just talking and like looking back on all that. And me and Sean were going back to his OTAs and all that stuff. And I just remember you, first off, number 3, just for the viewer and the listener. If you get a single digits is not in the NFL, it's not like only punters and quarterbacks were single digits.
Right.
So when a skill player gets single digits, like especially yourself, like it's the odd, they're kind of like, here, you know, you know, we don't know if you're going to make the squad, but we're going to give you 3.
Camp body. Let's be honest. Like we were camp bodies. Like, hey, coming in, we're basically a glorified punching bag. One of the 90-man. Like, let's just say what it is, right?
Yeah, it is what it is, and like, I mean, you knew that. I mean, that kind of is what drove you, right? And we've been talking about that, but it's like I just remember seeing that work ethic early on in camp, and we always laugh about it, and used to stay after practice and run like wheel routes full speed for like 50 yards. No one throwing him the ball.
No one
throwing him the ball. Not a ball in sight. But I would just watch you run wheel routes over and over again, full speed. And I would be like, what the heck? I mean, I was like, good for him, but like, what is he doing? Like, let's get a ball and play maybe a little bit, like get some catching. But it was just you, bro. That's just like what it was. And then I remember me and Sean were talking about too. We sat in special teams meeting, right, where you kind of came on the scene. That's really where you made the squad first. Mm-hmm. And we're sitting there, we're doing a punt. We're looking over punt film. We're like, you know, or it was punt return that day, and you were on scout punt. And we were just sitting there. Coach Lynn walks in, Coach Stu, our special teams and they're like, "Who's that? Who's that kid that's freaking first down there, like flying down the field?" They're
I
like,
remember
"Oh, that's Austin Ekeler," and they were like, "Huh?" Austin
like,
Ekeler.
okay.
Then it just slowly began the process of like you like just the hard work, the work ethic, showing the speed, and just doing everything you could to like make the squad.
Yeah, here's the thing too, to add on to that, like in OTAs, like even though I was like making some plays on special teams like that, like I was still like messing up on offense, right? And I'm not moving up the depth chart at all. Like I'm still last on the depth chart in special teams. I'm still last on the depth chart on the running back, right? And so I'm trying as hard as I can. I'm getting emotional. I remember Coach Ridge, I freaking broke down one time, man. I was like, bro, I'm trying so hard to get this freaking opportunity and put everything into this. And I just feel like I'm not getting anywhere. And he's like, you just got to stick with it, man. You just got to stick with it. And he's like, maybe just go take some time off, and that's when, the boys would pick me up. We'd be playing spike ball and stuff. I get my mind off some things.
Yes.
That's for a different time.
Let's
what do we got here? Do some of the grind, maybe.
Oh my gosh.
Work.
Oh my gosh.
But
you get that speed, that first step. Wow.
First step.
Okay, good watching that. I'm trying to talk about my story over here.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't moving up. And so literally after OTAs, I went up to Coach Lynn's office. I'm like, I was so nervous. I'm like, I'm gonna go ask him what I gotta do to make this team. And I went up there and I remember I was like, I didn't know what to say. I didn't even know how to start the conversation, but I was like, I like the way you coach. Like that was like the first thing.
I like the way you coach.
I didn't know, like it was so awkward because I didn't know how to talk to this guy. And like I'd never talked to him at all before. I didn't know him. So I didn't know like his personality that well. And I just knew he was like really about like the team business kind of mentality. And so I go up there and I'm like, what do I got to do to make this team? He's like, first protect the quarterback, talk to Coach Stu, and don't fumble. But that's basically all he told me. And the conversation was really short. He's like, go talk to Coach Stu. And so I go talk to Coach Stu, and Coach Stu's a different cat. And when it comes to his relationship, he's a big relationship guy, really wants to know his guys. And so we sat down, we talked about everything besides football for about an hour. And it was just a great conversation. I don't even think I got anywhere there, but just hearing him just kind of talk about his story, talk about the football, just kind of calmed me down a little bit. And then went and talked to my running back coach, and he kind of chuckled. And I told him I was like, I'm gonna make this effing team. And he's like, all right, man, just keep working. And then, came back into training camp, still six strings. I didn't move up at all until the roster was cut, right? So I'm barely getting any reps. I'm getting like 4 or 5 reps a practice, right? So get the 53 ready to go play. And then there's like whatever's left over. And so, I mean, there's not many 6-string, reps going out there. And so I'm still showing up on special teams, and then finally get to basically through the preseason games. I'm making tackles in every single preseason game, and making a few running back plays here and there. Nothing crazy. I was just doing my job. That was the thing. I came in ready to go mentally. I wasn't like going off or anything. I made a few plays in the last preseason game, which really I think solidified. And I had
you went off in the last game now. Hey, come on, don't downplay.
I made a few plays.
You made the team in that last game, man.
I made a few plays. I've heard different things. Wizenhunt told me I made the team before then. So I'm like, I don't know. Regardless, it didn't matter because I didn't know that. In my mind, it was like I got to make the team every single play, every single down, right? And so that's literally what my mentality was, and that's what got me my foot in the door.
That's sure. Awesome. And for the listener right now too, Coach Stu is a special teams coordinator at the time, and like you said, because it's something that I experienced as well, undrafted. You're in preseason / OTAs, you're getting at best 5 snaps. And you were saying that you were even messing up because you got to learn the playbook. So you got to think like you got 5 opportunities and you're messing up on maybe, 2 plays. That's like half, of your opportunities. So it's quickly to like kind of have like a bad perception. So like for you, how you showed your speed, because I think your speed and versatility and special teams is what really got you the opportunities to make the plays. And offense, right? But like that wasn't even regular special teams period. Like that was scout. We were scout teams because I remember you were just unblocked on PP flying.
Unblocked, man. No one blocking me.
And you're like, yo, I'm gonna take this opportunity and run. And like Hunter said, man, and people noticed. And little stuff like that compounded over time
Yeah.
You mess around and make the team, right? Which is
the thing is, you don't know what the little thing is going to be that's going to get you noticed. You have to be going hard all the time because I didn't know it was going to be that one special teams rep where I was on block running down the field.
Right.
Like, I'm just have to go hard the entire time, right?
Right.
And then just started translating through my career. Actually, I kind of like this is like one of my favorite stats. But literally, my rookie year, I had like 15 or 16 tackles, and it was like I had led the league in tackles on punt in my rookie year. And that's like one of the stats I'm most proud of because it's like that's what got me into the league, and that's what really solidified where like my mentality was like, you know what, regardless if I play offense or not, I'm gonna make plays. And so
and you did. And you did. Like he said, he balled in the last preseason game. Honestly, one of the coolest things to watch because I don't know, whatever Wizenhunt says, I think you made it, honestly, on that last game. I was like, oh my gosh, like no one tackled you that whole game. I was like, this is incredible.
And that fourth game, I think too, also for the viewer, like the fourth game is when the vets, the people that are going to be here come after cut day, they're not playing. So it's like you maybe got a limited amount of reps in those first 3 games. Fourth game, you just like, all right, Austin, here's your one opportunity. They pretty much say history shows one guy will make a team every year in that fourth game. And that year it was you. And it's so cool, man, to see your story. And I know with that too, like you started to build on that. You played special teams your rookie year, but then you obviously started to play a little bit on offense as well, make some plays on the running back role. But then you started scoring. Right. And let's talk the celebration. Let's talk methodically. How did you think you were going to do that? Like, just tell me about that.
I think there's a couple stories, and there's all lead kind of to the same just direction. I remember we were like in college, me and my roommates were like jamming out to rock music because it was like the Christian station or the rock station. So I used to listen to the rock station. That was if you're listening to radio, I mean. And so I started listening to more and more rock songs, and I was like, okay, let's play some of this. And I started finding just like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then one night we were just jamming out to some rock music. I'm like, if I make it, I'm gonna do guitar celebration. And then just my love of rock music, and then I finally scored a touchdown, and I didn't know what to do with my first touchdown. I was just flexing and screaming, yeah, as hard as I could because I was unprepared, right? I didn't know I was gonna be even playing any off stuff. And now I'm like, I gotta stick with it because I want it to be like, who are you? Like Chargers, guitar guy, right? Like, oh yeah, that guy. It kind of became who I am, kind of part of my image, right? Everyone's switching up their routines and stuff. That's great, but I need that staple, like LT. He's doing this, right? And so it's like that's who he is, right? And so it's a little strategic there just to keep it. And I mean, I enjoy it too because I still listen to rock music. Now I'm into like some metal, and it's even heavier. But that's another story.
No doubt, dude. Your signature is sick. And I like it because it gets the other guys involved too, right? Like we would always get involved and be like, let's get the band going. Like, let's get the band together. Slap the bass, baby. Get some drums going. Like, it's just a way to get, because obviously it's team sport, bro. Like, you score, but we all score. And so it's like, we're like, bro, it's so hard to get in the end zone and to get in there. It's like, let's go. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, we're fired up, freaking slapping the bass. You're rocking out. We got drums. It's just,
I'm ready.
It's a blast.
Love it.
I love that, man.
And I never know what to do when I get in because
like,
I freak out, like you said. Like we freak out. And I will say, Gates always told me, he was like, if you think too much about what you're gonna do when you're gonna get in, you might not get in.
You might not get in. That's right. I like that.
So
wow,
that's good.
Don't think too much on it.
No, from Hunt, we're gonna get a big spike. And a bunch of chest bumps and like high five stuff. Yeah. I'm pretty basic. I need to up my game on that, but whatever. Hey, you got a new platform. You got a new community out there with the Patriots. You can start something up now.
I can start something up. There was a Gronk spike up there though, so I gotta do something different than a spike because that's Gronk's thing. You know what I mean? We'll see. Maybe some fans can give me an idea. Drop it in the comments, slide in the DMs, let me know what I should do.
DMs are open. And obviously Well, I want to talk more like really off the field and what everything you have going on, which is so incredible to see how you balance both worlds, right? But let's just end the football part with an incredible contract, so rewarding for the people that don't know. I mean, it's a life changer, and like it's really cool, man. There's not many people with your story that just bet on themselves, believe it to the utmost that it's going to go as planned, and just battled and grind and did the small things day in, day out. And then you get rewarded financially. And that is so cool. And there's no one more deserving than you, man. I mean that as your friend. But dude, let's talk. I know early on in us being roommates, I would always be hearing Beardy Branded, all those state podcasts. Like, you wouldn't take a shower without having some type of like content, like trying to always learn, and like something that we share there. And so you're really big in the real estate game. Why don't you kind of like tell us why, for one, when did you get involved, and what's your portfolio kind of look like right now?
Well, I think it's bigger than just real estate. It's just this, you get into a position where I was passionate about business. I knew I was going to go into business. And so I'm like, okay, what are other ways I can, financially, try to help myself in the future after football's done. And so real estate's definitely a big part of that. I really like real estate because of just how passive it is and how I can really just set up a good deal. And then I also have a lot of connections in real estate as well. But currently right now I have 17 units, all in Colorado. They're all rentals, all like year leases. And so I've had those for a few years now. And it's been, especially right now, one of the best investments I've ever made back then because of how just everything's appreciated. And so it just gives me flexibility with what I want to do. And then even like stocks or even like just other passions, like these have all become my passions and other things that I like to do outside of football.
Yeah.
And, I think I've just been building on the knowledge of it. And that's what you have to do if you want to immerse yourself into it, right? You need to know everything about it as much as you can, and then try to be around people that are like-minded so you can be talking about it, be about it, and really learn and get connected.
And not only that, like, you have to do so much learning, like you said, and reading and listening to podcasts, and just continue to have the knowledge so you are confident. And when you're putting skin in the game, right, when you're putting money up, but at some point too, you just have to do it, right? You probably once you learn probably so much just in the process of your first deal, because you can read books all you want, but from my experience, like, it's just, you got to do it. And then once you're in the game, man, the floodgates are open.
Yeah, because you got to get over that first purchase, right? Because you crunched all these numbers, right? Makes sense to you, but like you're like, oh, I actually got to go buy this thing now, and it's intimidating, especially for your first one. It's like, all right, what if it doesn't work out? What if there's expenses that I'm not, expecting? And all that's going to happen. It's going to happen. But the thing is, you have to go get that experience. And this is something that I kind of just preach to my stream as well. It's like if you are really passionate about something, you really love something, you need to absolutely, I kind of touched on it, you need to absolutely immerse yourself into that place. Like, you need to be all in as far as the learning, the connections, like you need to be all about it. And it's different for everybody, right? Because some people have to go work a job just to get by. And so it's different because some people have more time, some people have less, but regardless, you need to have some sort of connection to that passion that you're trying to either be around, be in, or you just need to be around it, because if you don't, you're going to lose it, and if you lose what you're really passionate about, you're going to feel like this feeling of I'm stuck. Like, I'm stuck. What am I doing? I'm stuck, right. And so I always am encouraging people, and those are just some of my passions as far as, investing and real estate. That's why I've really just stayed in touch and really continued to learn.
Dude, wise words, Fack. There you go, man. That's awesome.
This is a TED Talk right here, right?
Yeah. Let's go, man. Let's go. There's 4 things. Oh, go ahead.
No, you're good. We want to keep talking about all, because you have your hands in a lot. Like, real estate is big, but you got your hands in a lot of things. We always talk about, even this past year, I felt like we always talked about, what do we want to do post football? What do you want to do after football? You know what I mean? Like, we're only these athletes for a short amount of time, like, let's say we both play for 3 or 4 more years, maybe even, right? We're both going to be 28, 29 years old, and we still have our whole life ahead of us. And so you're already planning those things, and it's really, really cool. And I feel like me and Sean always want to highlight those things on these podcasts, because that's important, man. Like, we're more than an athlete, right? Like, we're more than what we're putting out there on the field. And you have your hands in a lot of things, right? You have your gaming group.
Say it, whatever yours on your. I see it, man. What do you care, baby?
I was gonna say you're only more than an athlete if you make it that you're more than an athlete. Because if you're only an athlete and you only play in the sport, then you're just an athlete.
Yeah, that's true.
The skill set you learn in sports is only transferable if you are learning throughout the process, right? In football, because otherwise it's not, right? Like, I mean, what we do, it's cool. You can learn a playbook, be athletic, catch the ball, go score, nice. But that doesn't hold value in the real world. But there's a ton of knowledge, experience, and just the mindset that you've alluded to this whole convo that you've developed in just your journey, and especially in the NFL now, that you can start saying, okay, boom, I'm going to go into real estate. And then not only there, you love the game, you're passionate about it. You spoke about how like you have to have passion in it, right? Unless it's just going to go away. And not only that, now you've monetized basically your love for gaming. You're building talk about that world and what the gaming and the Twitch and all the streaming, because I mean, you do that.
Yeah, it goes back to what you were just talking about, right? So if I do nothing besides be an athlete, when my career's over, guess what? I'm going to be forgotten unless I'm an absolute legend and I'm like Hall of Fame status. Like, people aren't going to want to follow me. Like, they don't care. Like, like majority of the league is not, the big spotlight ESPN players, right? That's what you see, but there's the majority of guys that retire. There's a bunch of guys that retire every year. No one even knows, right? And so it's, as an athlete or as anyone that has a platform, it's your job to capture as much of that platform and move them into other spaces of your life and show them like, hey, I also do this. I'm also involved in this. And so, coming into gaming, that's where gaming's really taken off for me, is because I wanted to show and I wanted to give access to people to me. And so I can help kind of preach the things that I love. And I want to see that just people just fulfill themselves, right? I put a post out a while back. I feel like my fulfillment is to help other people feel fulfilled. And so through Twitch and my streams, I've really been talking about 4 things. I've been talking about mental health. I've been talking about your social life. I've been talking about physical health, and then motivations. Because no matter what you do from top to bottom, as far as how you fit into society, this hierarchy, I guess, in America, like those 4 things are going to be a part of your life. And if they're not, then you're not going to have this sort of fulfillment, in my opinion. This is all my opinion, obviously. And so I've just been helping and just talking about just values of life and just how to stay motivated, little tips and things to make sure that you're still being involved in things that you really like and not feeling that stuck sensation. And it's just a way for me to connect with the community on a deeper level and really show like I care about you guys. You guys have helped me get to this point and really pushed me and supported me. I want to support you guys back with kind of saying what I've learned over the years and how it's helped me. Basically, I'm doing the Twitch so I can help the person that I used to be when I was at Eaton, Colorado. And so I can help that person have it might not be football. Even if it is, this is what I say. If you want to go to the NFL, that's great. It's amazing because the commitment, the team, the social skills, the mental toughness, all these things that you're going to learn are so valuable for other aspects of your life too, not just to get to the NFL. Yeah, it's important for that too. But if it doesn't work out for you, which for most people, it's not going to, right? It's not going to. And that's okay. It's okay because you're going to be discouraged. You should be, because you're putting everything towards that. But when you change and find something else that you're passionate about, you're going to have all those skills to apply to that too. And so I've just really been making a push for just my community that follows me to come in and, hey, it's just learn something, kind of tell your story. We can play some games, hang out, and then let's talk about life.
Wow. Hunt, my man Ekeler is setting the bar high for the next guy, because I got to go listening to that. And I'm so glad too you brought up your recent post, because we talked about that, where just having an impact on others is like really what drives intrinsic value, for your life. And you said, with Twitch and streaming and how that's a platform to help the younger Ekeler, right? But it's beyond that too now with your foundation. Like, I know that's something that you're passionate about. It's in the works. Why don't you kind of share about like just getting that whole thing streamlined to where it is today?
Yeah. And so with the Austin Ekeler Foundation, it's another way, on top of Twitch, that I'm really trying to help give back. And, I talked about those 4 core values, and it's like, well, I can't just go, Sean, I talked to you about this stuff on the boat we were on. It's like, you can't go to the youth and like, I can speak to them, but that only goes so far. Like, I can speak to them about those 4 things, and they're going to say like, oh yeah, that's great. They might write down something on a note card, right? But if they're not out experience those things, if they're not working in teams, if they're not doing this stuff, then they're not going to learn those skills, and it's not going to really sink in for them to really be around that skill, to be around for them to actually like learn it when they're older, right? It's not going to stay with them. And so what the Austin Ekeler Foundation is trying to do is trying to implement resources for people to use so they can learn these skills. Like for me, the gym was a big part of my life. That's where I learned a lot of, just social skills, mental toughness, how to work hard, work with a team. It was part of the big picture. There's a lot more that plays into it, but it was part of it. And if I didn't have the gym, I don't know if I really would have found a love for working out. I don't know if pound for pound would have ever been a thing, right? Oh. And so you never know what it's going to be. So for my first project, I built a school weight room for Santa Barbara High School. It's just a really underfunded school in a beautiful area, but there's 70% free and reduced lunches there. People can't even pay for the lunch. And so it's everything there is basically based on donations. And so I've donated a gym for them to have just the proper amount of resources to have 2,200 students on their campus. And so that's what the Austin Ekeler Foundation is going to do. I have a new project. I can't get really into it yet because it's not official, but it's going to be hopefully nationwide and just give a different way. It's not like weight room stuff, but it's a different way for people to express themselves, for younger people to go outside, use technology, and kind of just learn more about themselves in the future. And so basically, long story short, I've been rambling about it, but
please continue.
Ramble. It's about putting things that people can use to learn skills, because right now in America and across the world, like we have just people growing up, they don't have the role models. They don't have, the people that are pushing them. They don't have all these things that are going to teach you these skills when you're younger that are going to really be valuable when you're older. And so that's why you see all this just different types of people and different types of motivation, is because we all grow up in a different way. And that's what it's going to be. You can't cookie cut every single person. But the thing is, if people learn skills as far as how I can really, push to be in a place where I want to be, and that's actually feasible, or even just be around that type of stuff, then I'm going to have more of a fulfillment feeling in my just life. And I'm going to feel like I'm actually doing something. I'm not stuck in the situation that I'm in. Because if you don't have the skills that, as far as what I keep talking about, the mental health, the social skills, the motivation, and then the physical health part, like you're going to feel stuck and you're going to be like, dang, what do I got to do to get out of this? And so I'm trying to help people early on. So as they're growing up, they see this and they can feel like there's some hope for themselves.
Dude, wow. We can see and feel the passion, man, coming from your voice right now. I don't know if people are listening or watching this live, but man, it's incredible stuff, bro.
Right. Incredible, bro. Incredible. And we got merch too, right? So people can go buy merch, man. Okay. Yeah, we just threw a video up of everybody of the merch. It's pretty cool. His logo is cool. I mean, golly, we can hear the passion in your voice, man. This is what makes you great, right? You know what I mean? Like, this is translated from football now to your just everything, right? Like, this is where football can carry over with the passion that you carried with football into your social life, into your investments, into your foundation, to your gaming, to your brand. Man, really, really, really cool.
And so even with gaming, I've been on a gaming group. Like, that's another way for me to try to help people. Like we talked about, like, you need to use, as an NFL player, or just people with a platform, you need to find a way to connect with people. Like what you guys are doing here. You guys are showing a different side of you guys, where in a podcast, you can really have a limitless amount of abilities to talk about things that you're just involved in. And people want to come and listen to you because they're fans, right? And so that's what I'm trying to do with Gridiron Gaming Group, right? I'm trying to give a platform, give you guys resources if you're part of the group. And then here, you need an editor, you need things made for you, you need a tournament, you want to do a big event, like, we're going to do all this stuff. Like, I'll help you, like, because it's really important. Like, if you just are an athlete and do nothing besides that, then you're just going to be an athlete. But if you connect, you can start to build and do things that you really want to do outside of football. Because like football is this big. I went to Dubai like a month and a half ago, and no one knows who I am there, right? No one cares. Like, I don't know what American football is, right? They think that's soccer. Though that's what we think, They're like, no, actual football. And football. And so it kind of opened my eyes. It's like, you know what, you're right. Like, it really doesn't matter, but like, what does matter to people? And it was those four things that I was talking about. Like, no matter who you are, like, and so it kind of opened my eyes to like really wanting to push to help people in that space, just as far as those four things, because those four things will help every single person, even around the world. just to feel some sort of fulfillment in life. And, you know, we all have different opinions on, you know, how we want to feel fulfilled. But if you're motivated, if you have a good social around you, mental health, and you know, have some physical health as well, then I feel like you're going to have a much better chance. Or if you just learn about it, even learning about it is going to help you have more potential to find where you really feel like, you know, this is a special life.
Quickly, and this could be a whole episode, and maybe we'll have to bring you back on for this, but you said mental health. This real quickly, well, because you know how this can just be a long discussion.
Yeah.
Give a few tips that you use on the reg daily to kind of like protect your mental health, stay in their zen, if you will, right? Let's stay level-headed. Like, what do you have that helps you? I know it's different for every person. For me, meditation is huge. Music is huge. And just writing my goals out, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly, and then blocking out everything outside of that. And like, that's kind of like the way I protect like the mental side of how I interact on a day-to-day basis. Like, why don't you kind of touch on that?
I think it's different. Like you said, it's different for everybody. But for me, what really just keeps my brain sane with all the stuff that's going on is really, I need a routine. I need a plan, and I need a routine. Right. And then also it comes back and ties in with the social life. I need people around me that are also supporting the things that I'm already doing. And so what I mean by routine, like every single morning I wake up, drink my smoothie, go to the gym. Right. And then it's like, okay, I have my assistant that helped me like plan out, okay, what are we working on today? What are we going to do? Are we working on GGG? Are we working on there's some type of plan on what I'm getting done today. So it always comes back to a routine. Because then I can stay on track. I feel like I'm staying on track. And when I get out of the routine, I kind of feel like this like uneasy feeling. You know, a lot of us feel that. That's literally your mental health. Like if I get into a routine, I'm like, okay, now I'm starting to feel on track. And if I put goals in front of that routine, then it keeps me pushing forward and keeps me motivated to, you know, hit that mark. And then it also plays in with the social people. Who are the people around me? Who are my loved ones, my family? Am I talking to them as well? Because if I feel like some sort of love from the group around me and my friends and my family, it also just keeps me on an upbeat feeling. I feel like, you know, like I'm really doing something with my life, basically. And, you know, that's really important, even in just general, just finding positive people to be around that are
mentorships too, because you've had a lot of mentors in the entrepreneurship space where, you know, in the restaurant. So I know when you were dabbling in that. But like, you know, you are who you surround yourself with, right? The four closest people that you hang with, that's basically who you're eventually going to be. And if you're the smartest man in the room, you're probably in the wrong room, right? So like, you got to be very selective in who you choose to spend your time with, who you want to actually see and make plans with, because you got a lot going on, my man. Like you got a packed schedule. You can't just be saying yes to probably everything, right?
Exactly. If I am, it's because I have opening for it. Like there's a reason for it, right? And so that's really what helps my mental health is put in. And the thing is, I have to set aside, like on the weekends, I don't do much on the weekends. Like weekends is my time. Like I'm hanging out with my girlfriend and her family, hanging out with my mom. You know, I'm playing my games with my little brother. Like that's my time. Like you have to have some sort of my time. Mm-hmm. And so as long as you have your routine, you'll never feel like, oh, you know, I need to be doing this, because you'll be like, okay, no, when my routine starts up on whenever, that's when I'll get back to work. But you need to put some self meditation like you do. But that's different for a lot of people. For me, it's really just getting away from everything I'm involved in, go hang out with my girlfriend, play some video games, stuff like that.
Love that. Shout out.
Man, that's awesome. I think that's huge for this past year too, right? The year that we've been in this year, and what you're talking about as far as mental health, the social interaction, the people you want to be around. A lot of people haven't had that this whole year. For you to be able to do that through Twitch, I think is really, really cool. And to be able to touch people in a way that you might not be able to be touched. And so, man, I commend you for that. This is why we love having you on. We might have to just make you an all-time guest.
Yeah, right. Flow bros. I mean, you're lacking the flow slightly, but I mean, we can make exceptions, my man. We'll do it. We're spitting knowledge right now. I know we're kind of wanting to wrap things up, but we wanted to leave the floor open for questions for those that are tuning in live right now. I put out a little filler on my Instagram about a week ago to get some questions as well. And I'm just going to lead off with a fan question. You may or may not have heard of him. His name is Dan Feeney. And he says, do you Corvette, bro? He says, do you even Corvette?
Do I even Corvette? I didn't used to, but
you
now
have a
I do.
Corvette, bro?
Yes, driving the Corvette.
Whoa.
We got a picture of that. Hold on. I think we might even have a picture of that. Can we pull that up?
I've wanted a Corvette since I was little. That was like the car I would drive around and see a Corvette. And for whatever reason, I was like, dang, that's a really cool car. And I was finally able to get to the point where, you know what? I was like, let's buy this thing. Here, pull it up. There it is. There she is.
Man. Is that thing flying for you?
Hey, I mean, I keep it reasonable, right? I'm not trying to do anything crazy out here. But it's fast. It's fast.
That's the thing too. There's a balance, I think, too, man. Like you gotta splurge on yourself a little bit, bro. Like you worked your tail off, and
yeah, I mean, who doesn't, right? You get some money. What do you make money for? To spend money, right? And so,
yeah, a little bit, bro. We can do that. Like we need to be smart with our investments, save. Mm-hmm. Like that's huge, budgeting, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, too, like you gotta have a little fun, man. And you've always had that car. You earned a freaking contract that was killer, and it's like, dude, I put in a lot of freaking time. I'm gonna get this Corvette. That's pretty sick.
You live one time, my man. As long as you live for a reason, then let's go. Let's go.
I'm jealous. I'm a little jealous. Let's see.
Hey, what else, man? I know that contract. It's pretty heavy over there too. So I know you like the Jeep, though. You like the Jeep.
I do like the Jeep, but I got some prospects on the upcoming, maybe on a new car. So we'll see. I might be joining.
I just pulled the trigger last week, and I got me a Tesla.
Yeah, driving a Tesla.
I was driving my 2009 Dodge Ram truck since high school. No 18.
Yeah, I remember.
I got the worst car in the parking lot of Ravens and Chargers. And I finally said, you know what? Like you said, YOLO, man. I'm getting that Tesla.
Let's go.
Hey, we got a question here, though. Austin, have you met Coach Staley? And what are your impressions of him?
Yeah, so he called me first time out of the blue. I didn't even know who was calling me. I just answered this random call and I said, hey, it's Coach Staley. I was like, oh, shoot, what's up, man? What's up, Coach? And so that was really special, I thought, because he was just showing that, hey, he's a relationship guy. And I'm like, thank you. Like a guy that wants to know, like, the guys on a deeper level than just football. Like, I think that's amazing. I think that really helps you build team chemistry. I think that really helps you establish what the coach wants to establish. And then if people can buy in more, because if I know you a little bit more personally, then it's like, okay, I know what you're about. I know what you're going to say. I start to get around you on more than just a football level, and my respect for you goes up because of that. And so then I went and met him, and we just talked about football. We just talked about our situation. It's a lot. It's the same talk, I feel like, on a lot of different teams. Like we feel like we have the the tools to be great, but it's like now we need to build the chemistry and actually put it together, right? That's what every NFL team's trying to do. And with the Chargers, we've been trying to do that forever. It's like, oh, same old Chargers. We're a good team. We're gonna go 8-8, 7-9, 9-7. It's like, well, how do we get over that edge? And so, yeah, I had a couple conversations, but I'm gonna add on to that. I've been starting a new campaign to change the culture of the Chargers fans. Like we're not San Diego anymore, you guys. Like we are in LA. Guess what? If you're salty, it's done. We have a new stadium. We have a new feel around the team. We got a new Rookie of the Year quarterback coming in. Like I'm single-handedly every podcast I get, I literally talk about this. Like I am out here. If you're not coming to the stadium with energy, don't come. Don't come to the stadium because we don't want you in the stadium. We want a culture where it's like, dang, like this is rocking in here. Because if we come into the stadium, fans and players coming in like, oh, let's see how this year goes. And that's how it's going to be. It's going to be like all dead coming in. But if we come in with the expectation like, hey, we're going to rock this place. Let's test the freaking foundation of SoFi Stadium. Then let's go. We can start on a higher level. We start on a higher level, come in, and then, hey, we got to make plays. I get that. We're going to put in the work. We're going to do all this stuff. But I need you guys because if you guys are listening, you come to SoFi. If you guys are excited, if you guys are in the stands going crazy, it's contagious. It's contagious all the way through ownership, through the team. It gives us another reason to play just that much harder for you. So I'm campaigning. We're starting a new culture. Let's go. Sorry, you boys can't be here to get on. I'm starting now.
Public announcement. I love it. Is that why you wanted to come on our podcast?
That's right. That's the only
reason.
For that
one payment.
I'm fired up because
let's go, man. We have a great opportunity, man. Let's go, Charger fans, please. Like it doesn't have to be the same stuff. It doesn't have to be. It only is if we make it that way.
I like that. That's good. Yeah. You need that for sure. You need that. Yeah. I'm not part of the Bolt Nation anymore, but always love Bolt Nation.
Always love it. We got a place in each of our hearts for the Bolt Nation.
Always, man. Always. And Hey, we coming to play y'all this year, so I would love for SoFi to be electric, bro.
Right?
Let's get it rocking in there. That'd be a blast. Let's go have some fun.
Let's go play some football, man. Win or lose, bro. Like, we're still watching a football game. We're still watching people fly around. We're still competing. Like, that's something you can be excited about. Like, people are like, oh, well, you guys don't win games. So it's like, it's not about winning games. Like, winning games is great, but like, we go to the Broncos Stadium, and these places they're so lit, and they're even winning games all for the past whatever years. And they're still going crazy in there. I'm just like, it's about the culture of your fan base. And it's like, we got to switch it over here with the Chargers because it's been so salty for the last 3 years. And I'm tired of it.
He's tired of it. You heard the man.
Tired, man. Golly.
With energy or don't come at all.
Don't even come.
Don't even come.
I'll buy a ticket for you if you want to refund it if you're not going to bring energy. Let's go. Don't come, bro. Don't come.
That. Hey, do we have any more questions? By anyone listening right now, we probably have a few more minutes.
I think I saw one earlier. Here's one right here. Were there any other teams that said if you got cut from the Chargers your rookie year that you would basically maybe be picked up by?
Yeah, there was a few teams that I could have gone to, even just in my free agency when I didn't get drafted. But the Chargers were first on my list because just some strategic things, a new coaching staff. They only had one really established running back, and that was Melvin, and everyone else is kind of just newer or just young. And so there was no politics, and it was like coming into a room where it's like, hey, everyone's kind of got to prove themselves for the backup spots. And so that was the reason. And I guess after getting cut, I didn't even have that conversation because I didn't get cut. So
no doubt. Here's another one. I think, yeah, there it is. Any other running backs you tried to model your game after growing up?
Told you I didn't really watch the NFL until about my junior year at college. So I did what worked for me, right? And then now I'm in the league, and now I watch other running backs just to pick up more so like just little things here and there. But as far as who you are as a player, you have to stay true to that, because if you try to change too much, then you're not gonna feel like yourself. And so there's not really much you can change. Maybe it's like the top of a route, like really something really subtle. And so, but not really. I never really modeled my game after anyone.
Not even Danny Woodhead?
I didn't watch Danny coming in. No.
Oh.
We were so different.
Yeah.
People kept comparing us because I feel like we're like same like body type maybe, but I feel like we're just different when I watched him play.
Yeah, y'all are different, but kind of the same in a way.
This is what I'm saying. Like, see, other people are like, oh, you guys are the same. I watch him. It's like,
you're not the same at all. I'm not going to say you're the same. I said you're different, but you got some qualities that are kind of the same a little bit. I got to play with Danny for a year, and I've watched Danny a lot, so it's similar on the field. It's different, but yeah, I don't know what it is. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Oh, there it is.
Am I gonna miss Hunter? I already missed both of these boys, man. Like from when we came in my rookie year, there's the dynamic that we grew, and this chemistry we grew is different too. And then we had Watt in the mix too, man. It's like, I guess it's different. It's different. Now I feel I'm the old guy now, right? I'm going into freaking year 5. I'm the oldest running back in my room, so it just feels different. Crazy, man.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. I know. Just the turnover in the NFL is crazy. Like, you just have new dudes like every year, bro. Like, it's just a new team. Even if you're with the same team, you still have just new guys you're gonna meet, you have to be with. So I'm gonna miss you, bro. I'm gonna miss you.
Shoot, we'll still stay in touch. Get on Flow Bros every once in a while, catch up, talk about life. Hit a FaceTime. But it's just not the same when you're not grinding together for 7 months out of the year and seeing each other every day.
Right. True. No doubt about it. But I think it seems like we're gonna make it a regular after this show. I think we're gonna have to make you a regular, bro.
Bro, let's go. I'm always down to talk.
We'll get you like a wig or something, maybe, and you can throw it on.
Oh,
this is what I do, man.
I would pay money for Eck to come in with a wig.
That head's looking shiny.
I have a little segment.
Hunter doesn't have long hair, so I don't want to hear it right now.
That's true.
I don't want to hear that until Hunter has long hair. Sean, obviously you do.
I got longer hair than you.
You do, but it's not long.
It's long.
That's not flowing in the wind. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, man, we're just flowing over here, bro. We're just flowing. But yeah, hey, DMs. We'll say DMs are open. I can't speak for Austin, but me and Hunt, we open for the next couple of days. If you guys want like an X segment or something like that, let us know. We'll try to make it happen. We're here for y'all. Man, guys, it's been a blast. Austin, to say the least, you killed it. It was a pleasure hearing your just the knowledge and the experiences that you've had. And I know you definitely made a big impact today for anyone that's listening and for those that will watch this episode. Man, all is well. And good luck as you prepare for off season. And
yeah, let's run it back though. Let's dive into some of that stuff.
Let's do it. I'm with you. Because guys, we could go for hours on this thing.
Oh yeah,
really. I'm telling you, I think mental health is huge. I think we should really make it that a separate episode, and maybe even bring in like a psychologist or something like that, or like a sports therapist that really like on a clinical side will kind of like basically
next time
summarize what we're basically in theory saying, right? That'd be cool.
Absolutely. I'm game.
Cool.
But hey, I appreciate you guys today. Thanks for having me on. It was a good time. Looking forward
to it. Appreciate you guys. Subscribe, like, follow us on Insta, everything, and tune into uSTADIUM. They're putting it on, and we appreciate you guys. This is the Flow Bros podcast, baby. We'll see you.
Let's go.